When we hear the words knightly virtues or chivalry, we usually imagine lame nice guys, an outdated belief system, or a holier-than-thou attitude. But when you approach the actual works and history of that time, you soon understand that today's use of it are a misrepresentation. In fact, I'd argue that the medieval period can offer us lessons that are still relevant today, and if you take an open-minded approach, they can enrich your own journey to becoming your best self and fulfilling your dreams. Life in the Middle Ages, characterized by violence, war, and poverty, created a class of people who dedicated themselves to tackling these issues head-on. Facing hardship and conflict on every turn, these people created a culture which guided them throughout the battles they faced. Today we find ourselves in a world of digital gratification and meaningless success that doesn't get you anywhere and leaves just an empty, unfulfilled feeling. You know, situations like working on goals dictated by other people or chasing pleasures which suck your motivation and energy out of you. In these predicaments, ideals of the worthy people of the past might provide a compass for you to find real meaning in your life as well. These are the ideals we'll be looking at here, and to help us with that, we can take a look at a certain 14th century manuscript called the Book of Chivalry. Itself being written by a distinguished French knight, it provides a detailed and authentic portrayal of virtues such as courage, honor, and loyalty. The text is notable for its practical advice to knights on how to conduct themselves both on and off the battlefield. It emphasizes the importance of ethical behavior and personal integrity. The author, Geoffroi de Charny, was a prominent and renowned member of French upper society, even though he was born as a minor noble, carrying only a small title and piece of land to his name. He grew a reputation because of his combat skills and his principled behavior. He participated in numerous campaigns during the 100 Years' War, where his skill and counsel played an important role. He met his end at the Battle of Poitiers. There he proposed that the battle be decided by a duel, because, quote, God will be gracious to us if the battle be avoided in which so many valiant men will be slain. But the French king, Jean II, didn't want to listen to his counsel and sent his army to attack, where Charny, along with many other French knights, died defending the French standard. On that day, Charny and his fellow companions proved that the knightly ideals they held weren't just empty romantic speech, but reality, as they held on to them even in the face of death. With our explorations of the virtues and qualities of knights, let's start with something that is today still romanticized and seen as the thing that defined a knight, and that is honor. Being a core virtue in medieval chivalry, it offered a principle for how you conduct yourself personally and for your behavior when dealing with other people. Defining honor in the medieval period, however, is no simple task. Honor was seen as a multifaceted concept related to one's social standing and moral character. But it wasn't merely about one's reputation, it also involved a commitment to a code of conduct that included bravery, honesty, and a willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause. In most cases, you only have yourself to hold you accountable to such things, but in time it also creates respect by others. In his book, Charny described how good knights and men-at-arms were celebrated for their great achievements and honorable deeds of prowess and valor, which were accomplished by suffering great hardship, making strenuous efforts, and enduring fearful physical perils. He contrasted these men with wretched people who are so faint-hearted, noting that such individuals will never feel secure because they live in constant fear of death. Contrary to them, honorable knights are described as not minding whether they live or die, provided that their life be good enough for them to die with honor, meaning that bravery was a commitment to a life of meaning and virtue, prioritizing honor over mere survival. In the modern world, the concept of facing fearful physical perils in order to stay true to yourself or to achieve something worthy to you, it may honestly seem quite distant. Society today has a somewhat different outlook, placing survival and pleasure at the top. However, the underlying principle of courage, facing challenges head-on and standing up for one's beliefs, is still worthy. Whether you want to pursue a challenging career path, advocate for justice, or simply be truthful in difficult situations, courage is still an important virtue for personal success. Honor also involves upholding one's values, being reliable, and maintaining integrity, even when it might be easier to take shortcuts. As the Book of Chivalry suggests, It's better to die than to live basely, implying that a life without honor is not worth living at all. For us today, this can translate to being true to yourself and others, striving to be dependable, and cultivating a reputation that others respect. Now you might say, yeah, that's the person I strive to be, but where do you even start? To cultivate these virtues, you must start by challenging yourself regularly. This can be through small acts of bravery, such as speaking up when it may seem uncomfortable, or taking on tasks that push your limits. Just as knights prepared for honor by adapting to difficult situations, quote, "When it's cold, they endure the cold, and when it's hot, they put up with the heat." Likewise, you too can prepare for challenges by building up resilience and being able to adapt. Living with honor also requires a commitment to morally good behavior. This includes being honest, keeping promises, and showing respect to others. It also means being willing to make sacrifices for what is right, just as the knights did, exposing themselves to so many physical dangers and perilous adventures for the sake of honor. The virtues of courage and honor from medieval times provide a framework for self-improvement today. By embracing these ideals, you can lead a life that is not only brave and resilient, but also deeply fulfilling and respected by others. Now that we know the benefits of bravery and virtuous behavior, we still need to explain the main reason why it matters and why it especially mattered in the Middle Ages. The everyday reality of the Middle Ages was one where death was much more common than today, whether it be due to war, sickness, or hunger. Because of this, the people living at that time were aware of the limits of their lives and placed big importance on prudent use of time and living with purpose. This philosophy meant that, since life is fleeting, it should be dedicated to pursuits that are noble and meaningful. Medieval texts often give us perspective on how these ideals can be applied to modern life, especially to those who aim to leave a worthy legacy. Charny underlined the virtue of using time wisely, highlighting the stark difference between those who lead purposeful lives and those who squander their days. He criticized individuals who, instead of engaging in meaningful activities, abandon themselves to the most abominable ways of life and are always dissolute in their behavior. This condemnation is tied to a broader moral judgment, namely that wasting time is seen as a failure to live up to your own duties and potential. In contrast, he praised those who expose themselves to so many physical dangers and perilous adventures, not out of recklessness, but because they are driven by a higher purpose. This indicates a deep respect for those who dedicate their lives to significant causes, whether in the pursuit of honor, protection of others, or their personal growth. Contrary to the Middle Ages, today's world is rather fast-paced, and so the concepts of time management and purposeful living are even more relevant. With numerous distractions from digital media to social obligations, the challenge is to focus on what truly matters. Living with purpose means setting clear goals and pursuing them with determination. Charny's reference to people who are always dissolute in their behavior serves as a warning against a life of aimlessness and distraction. Instead, you should learn to cultivate a sense of direction and commitment and ensure that your efforts contribute to growth. To get more practical, first identify what is truly important to you. This involves some introspection and a clear understanding of your values and aspirations. Just as the knights of old were guided by a code of honor as they faced battles, modern individuals can develop their own principles when facing their challenges. Time management is a crucial skill in this process. The practical steps include setting specific goals, breaking them down into actionable tasks, and scheduling these tasks in a disciplined manner. The medieval knight's readiness to endure hardships for the sake of their goals is a powerful reminder that achieving meaningful outcomes often requires sacrifice and effort. Another important aspect is reflecting on how time is spent. Charny's critique of those who lead abominable ways of life suggests the need for regular self-assessment. You too can benefit from evaluating your routines, identifying activities that are unproductive or misaligned with your goals, and making adjustments to focus on what truly matters. Additionally, purposeful living involves engaging in activities that contribute to your growth and the betterment of society. This could mean pursuing your own business, volunteering, building meaningful relationships, or developing skills that enhance your ability to contribute positively to the community. To conclude this part, the medieval insights on the value of time and purpose for living provide guidance on what matters most in life. By managing your time wisely and living with intent, you can ensure that your life is not only productive but also deeply fulfilling. Embracing these principles helps in creating a life that is rich in purpose, aligned with your values, and committed to continuous improvement. The lessons of the past serve as a beacon as you navigate the ship that is your own life towards meaning and significance. And this brings us now to the end of the video. I hope you picked up that the challenges you face today and the hardships and disappointments you stumble into are part of every hero's journey, be it today or in the past. It's up for you to decide if you want to go through the suffering that success and meaning demand, or if you want to remain living in the desperate half-life that most people live in. If you clicked on this video and made it this far, I believe you already made up your mind. If so, you should know that there are countless lessons from the past and role models who faced the exact same struggles as you do and made it to the other end. Learning from them can only enrich your journey and make you a more complete and educated person. I hope you liked this video. If you're interested in these topics, I encourage you to subscribe and to leave a thumbs up because more of them are coming. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.